Hello, and welcome back to the Minds Unlimited Media channel. This is your girl, Just Z.
And this is Dr. J. Duncan.
And we are giving you the Minds Unlimited podcast recap of the week.
Yes, ma'am. So this week on the podcast, the title was Sign versus
Confirmation.
And as you can tell, this is serious business. So, as we always do, we'll like to educate you on the definitions before we really get deeply into this. So the queen of definitions herself, Just Z, just break us off real quick.
Okay, so we'll start with sign.
Mm-hmm.
So a sign is a gesture or action used to convey information or instructions.
Okay.
And now, for confirmation, it will be a response which shows that information is received or understood.
Mm-hmm.
So one of them is an action used to convey or give information or instructions, and the other is a response to something that shows that that information is received.
That's what's up. So, in a summary fashion, I'll take one of them and try to dig through as best as I can, and then we'll switch to the other. But we started off by saying signs. Like, everyone is looking for signs. Everyone is asking for signs. Signs. So, with that, we got to conclude that signs must have been something that was good throughout time, right? Signs have been used throughout history of mankind as far as I'm concerned, but ever so today, we always ask for something, but here's the thing. Do we always understand the signs that we see?
That's true. You have to understand the signs if they're going to lead you on the path that you're trying to take, or if they're going to lead you to your confirmation.
Absolutely.
So you have to understand the signs. And sometimes it comes from experience. It comes from using... Here, I'm going back to the very first season of the podcast. If you haven't heard it, check it out. But using all of your senses.
Yeah.
And
I'm going to go off of the example that she used in the podcast. I would advise you to go check out the podcast yourself to get the fullness of it, but I'm going to try to do my best. She used a track analogy and said that once the go sign or the go sound, whatever it is that triggers you, lets you know when to start, happens, you don't need that sign again to let you know that the race has started, right? You don't even need that sign technically to run the race. You only use that sign as a directional tool to help you know when to start and help you know kind of where you're going, right? So if we think about it like this, signs are directional tools. I'll say that again. Directional tools used to help give you direction, usually on how to start or how to get yourself back in alignment. Mm-hmm. That's what I'll share with that before we get into the confirmation portion.
that's the perfect gesture action used to convey information or instruction. So your sign / flag / start gun is conveying go.
Indeed. So there's nothing wrong for looking for signs, but without this next piece, you're just looking for any sign, which may not be a good thing. So let's jump into this. The next piece of it was looking for confirmation. Mm-hmm. Once again, confirmation leaned towards something called understanding. If I heard it correct, that is literally in the definition, correct?
Yeah, a response which shows that information is received and understood.
So if you get what we're putting down, if I can give you some confirmation, it is that the confirmation process is not just looking at a sign that says go this direction or that direction. It also requires that you know where you are in context to the sign that you're looking at, right? So if it's about to rain, you're doing harvest and crops, based off of what your job is, you are looking for cloud signs. You're not looking for ants to tell you, is it going to rain today? Maybe, maybe not.
Right.
Right? Mm-hmm. So, I mean, is that right? Is that on par, Queen Just Z?
Yeah. Right. I mean,
See, I'm looking for some confirmation.
Yes. A lot of times we do seek out confirmation to know that we read the signs right.
Yeah.
But I also feel like signs can be, and I talked about this in the podcast, I think that they can be based on how you feel about a particular subject.
Okay,
And
let's
so
get deep there.
You can you can see the signs that you want to see based on how you feel. So a perfect example, at least for me, is I would do something really, really well, and I would say, you know what? That's a sign. That's a sign that I need to treat myself. So I'm going to go ahead and get this Chick-fil-A. Right? Then, on the other side of that, something bad would happen. I was like, you know what? That's a sign. I need to pick me up. Need something to make me feel good. I'm going to get this Chick-fil-A. Right? And so, the signs that I read out of life were
Chick-fil-A.
Yeah, literally. They led me on the path of Chick-fil-A. But they were based on how I felt.
Indeed.
And so I think people do this all the time where they're like, I don't really want to do this. So, send me a sign. I need a sign that this is something that I should be doing. And then wait 2 seconds. Well, I didn't hear nothing. I guess that's my sign. I don't need to do it. Like, you know what I mean? So sometimes we read signs through colored lenses and take that as
absolutely
what it is.
So she done activated the Dr. J. Duncan in me. Let me give you some confirmation, both in the field of mental health and some scriptural confirmation on that. Now, throughout time, we know that emotions are a real thing. Emotions will make you do some crazy things, right? Emotional intelligence is different than your logical intelligence, if I may use those as terms. But always, whenever the heart was referenced, even in scripture, it was like your heart would be turned to stone or turned to flesh. In other words, it talked about how emotions color the information that is received before your mind even processes it. So if you are in let's say, a depressed mood, right? You're going to look at things from that lens. So sunlight doesn't look the same. I don't know if you've ever been in a blah situation, and I do that because I've experienced it. So me personally, to where outside it looks gray. And then all of a sudden when you have your pick-me-up, whether it's your Chick-fil-A or whatever, if it changes that perception, right, or perspective, which is what Minds Unlimited is built off of, if it changes the perspective, it literally changes your viewpoint, your life, your actions, your reactions.
It takes one thing sometimes. But sometimes it can be in the opposite direction, right?
Absolutely.
If you are in that depressive state and then all of a sudden, you get bad news or it starts to rain, then you're like, that's that confirmation bias that, well, I said it was going to be a bad day and here we are, right? So, sometimes your signs can lead directly to your confirmation, but sometimes your signs can lead indirectly to your confirmation. It's all dependent upon how you're looking at it at that moment.
Absolutely. So how do we balance both? Because looking for signs isn't a bad thing.
Yeah.
Looking or receiving confirmation isn't a bad thing. But here's the trick. A lot of times we mistake confirmation for validation. And we're looking for someone to tell us it's okay rather than to confirm that we understand it or not.
Yes.
You know what I'm saying?
Or to confirm that what you're putting out is what you're putting out. And so that's deep. That's deep. Because, think about it. If you make an appointment at the doctor's office, right, you probably had some type of symptom or sign that something was wrong, right? And you make an appointment and they send you a confirmation. Okay, this is your appointment, time, schedule. But that confirmation is not necessarily, like you said, a validation of whatever you might think is wrong with you, that confirmation, you still have to go there and partake in that conversation about the signs to receive the confirmation or not of what's going on. And I think we need to do that with ourselves a little bit more.
Absolutely.
As well. Like, okay, we see these signs, hear these signs, feel these signs, or whatever. And I think instead of looking for signs, maybe we can say like that we are open to receiving signs or open to...
Yeah. Because if you think about it like this, if you're ever on a trip, you have an end destination in mind, you're open to all the signs that help get you to your end destination.
Correct.
So you don't have a sign bias. Versus if you're just driving anywhere, you're like, oh, this sign says detour. I don't want to go that way. Right? So you're just traveling anywhere. Right? And I want us to... We didn't dive into this super deep on the podcast, and I'm going to make it short here, but I think that we've just pointed out something very important. That as we are human creatures that look for signs a lot, and we have this sign bias, and sometimes when we get a compliment or when we get a reward or punishment or whatnot, we take the validation as confirmation, and it is not the same thing. So the Chick-fil-A was not that, oh, this was a healthy treat and it's good for you. It was, I need something to pick me up. So the pick me up means that I'm doing good. Or the pick me up means I'm doing bad. No, the pick me up means that you just needed a pickup. Right?
Yeah.
Or
wanted.
Or sports. Here's your participation trophy. That's cool, but that is not confirmation that you won. You just participated.
Correct.
So keep that in mind that we need to first understand sign and confirmation and separate it from validation and looking for acceptance, whether it's right or wrong, because those can lead you astray. You'll be looking for different signs that mean something different.
It's just crazy how, like, now the person that I am and my relationship that I have with myself, my relationship that I have with other things around me, it's amazing how the quote-unquote signs change.
Yes.
But you're still going down, like, the same path of life. Like, you are still, like, for me at least, I'm still getting my education, but the signs of I'm supposed to be there, or the signs of I can do this, are different.
Yes.
You know? And that's just because I feel like as we gain experience, as we gain knowledge, as we gain maturity, life throws us whatever it throws us. I think that it's all adding to our repertoire so that we can read different signs. Absolutely. All of a sudden, you know, I have a friend that speaks in depressive, you know, moods. And so now I see the signs in life of depressive times, which I wouldn't have seen before. You get what I'm saying?
Because we learn and grow.
Yeah.
As we move. And that's a beautiful thing to really understand. And I thank you for sharing that story, because I believe sometimes we overlook the fact that sometimes you may be given the same sign. And then you're like, oh, well, God, I need something new. I need something new. And God's like, your eyes are new. Because you live more, you understand more.
Man.
So that's the reason why a lot of doctrines or a lot of things, they say that there's nothing new under the sun. We literally are redoing a lot of things through new perspectives. Because the smallest change in perspective does what? Change a life.
Yes.
Period.
Yes. I love it. I love it.
So we got some good news. Some very good news. This, my friends, on this YouTube channel, you guys see the journey a little bit different. On a podcast, we get our season, 16 episodes in, or however long it may be. And then at the end of the podcast season, you get 2 interviews. For you guys, it will be a continuation. So we get this episode, which is the final episode of season 3.
On the actual podcast. And so we will be giving you guys some official YouTube content exclusives for y'all the next couple weeks. So be checking in for that. Make sure you don't miss it. So you hit that subscribe button, you like this video, you comment with some things that you want us to talk about, hear about, questions you have, all of that stuff. We are here for y'all. Okay?
Yep. Now, a lot of things may be happening within that time, and you can catch up on all those details just by going to the website. Follow it on the descriptions that Just Z makes sure is in there every time below. So we have our Instagram handles, we have our emails, and we have our websites. We also, this is still February, so we're still celebrating Black History Month. We're celebrating our culture. I'm currently wearing the Mind State Cultured brand for this month. Check out the details below.
Yes.
There is a coupon code. Coupon alert. You'll get an additional 10% off of the Minds Unlimited Heritage Collection. Check out the website. You'll see. Just even put the information below. And she's wearing some more Mind State apparel.
We definitely have Mind State apparel hats as well, because everybody is cold right now. Everybody. So we have beanies for y'all. If you wearing too many layers, you don't want to cover up your dope apparel, we do have beanies, men's and women's, so those should be available for you as well.
Indeed. Anything else you want to share with the people?
I'm just super excited about this, y'all. Hit us up for Mind State apparel.
Thank you. Because you know it's possible.
You know
Would you look at there? So check us out. Leave comments. Leave questions. I'll say it again. Leave questions. If you didn't get that sign, hope you get the confirmation. Leave questions so that we can talk to y'all next week and the week after next with this exclusive content.
Awesome.
As always, the smallest change in perspective
can change your life.
Peace. What was that? Did you...